Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Review Please Video Game Edition, where today we will be reviewing the video game by Roll7, Rollerdrome, where in here you play as the character Kara Hassan in this dystopian world of shooting people, blowing up robots, while you're also performing a 900. It's crazy. But
you go above
900.
900. You go way higher than 900, man.
Exactly. But before we get too far into that, I am El, and I'm joined by, as always, my co-host Jesus. Jesus, how's it going?
It's going. I just I realized you saw the light bulb go off in my head that Rollerdrome was developed by Roll7. They also made Ollie Ollie World, and I fucking love Ollie Ollie World. So the light bulb went off in my head, and I was like, oh my god, no wonder I liked Rollerdrome. So anyways,
it's super fun.
Yeah.
But great. But yeah, we're talking about Rollerdrome today here, which was released in August of 2022 for Windows, PC, PlayStation 4 and 5, and then it was released on Xbox X and S in November of last year, 28th.
Yeah. So it was released August 16th in 2022 on PlayStation and then Windows,
Yep.
and then a little over a year later, it was released on Xbox.
That's so crazy because I remember when this initially came out for Xbox, I thought that this was like the first time it came out.
No,
I did not know it had been out for a very long time.
Yeah, it'd been out for a year.
Yeah,
so
exactly,
yeah.
So crazy. But other than that, we're gonna be talking about Rollerdrome today. What we liked about it, what we disliked about it, and our overall thoughts of it. So before we get right into the meat of it, Jesus, what are your top level thoughts about Rollerdrome?
I like it a lot. I think it's a very chill game. There's some deeper things happening in the background if you want to explore some of the narrative that's happening in the background, but you also don't need to. It's kind of just turn your brain off, go get a high score. You see a checklist at the end of every mission of things you could do, and complete objectives, and just that's just chill. It's just chill, a fun time. You are a skater and you're doing some tricks, you're killing some folks, and you're just having a good time. I think gameplay wise, this is just a very chill game that steadily gets harder as it goes. I think the challenges get harder and harder as you go, but even then it's still a fun time. Nothing seems impossible to do. When you look at the list of things to do for each of the courses, nothing seems impossible to do. All of it seems very obtainable, and so it's just a chill time. I enjoyed my time with it. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really pay attention to the narrative in the background that was happening. There's little notes that you can read when you go to when you go to the locker room and stuff, but I didn't really care about it. I was just having a good time. I was listening to a podcast most of the time when I was playing the game. I would just turn on a podcast, play through it, try to get a high score, play it again to try to complete objectives and stuff, and I was just having a good time with that, and that's all I needed. Honestly, that's all I needed, was just to chill and turn my brain off, and so it allowed me to have a good time in that way. What about you?
Oh yeah. No, so yeah, I was familiar with Rollerdrome a little bit, just not necessarily on the initial release in 2022, but 2023 when they were announcing it and seeing the gameplay footage. I thought that's really cool. It reminds me of a lot of interesting movies from the 80s and stuff, because I'm looking at the wiki here for Rollerdrome, and it says here, according to the lead producer, Drew Jones, the game was inspired by the 1970s films Rollerball and The Running Man, which you can kind of definitely get that feel in that. And so I liked it for the art style. The gameplay, like you said, it's such a chill game, even though in this game you're skating and you're trying to eliminate people, do these objectives, blow up these robots, and have these boss fights. And it's a lot of fun. Because I know for me, probably as well as for you, I don't know how much for you, but for me, I grew up on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and so it's just very chill. You're just in there getting a high score, and the only difference is here you have to eliminate people, and so it was a lot of fun. Not like you said, nothing seems very difficult at all. If anything, The hardest thing is just remembering what things you have to accomplish, the
Yeah.
little task list, and then trying to remember like, okay, I got to do this now. Okay, I have to do this. I think the only difficult part that I really had was there were certain challenges because the whole objective is to unlock and keep progressing. You have to get a certain amount of tasks done
Yeah.
or objectives done, and there were some that I was like, okay, I'm going to decide to do this, and it would be a little bit difficult. Like I think only using the shotgun for certain things, or
Yeah.
only using the pistols for certain things, but they weren't like impossible, and so it's a good game to get your brain just kind of like not even really thinking too hard, and it's just easy to get into. Like you said, put on a podcast, put on a show in the background, and it's like super fun just doing like the cool little moves and stuff like that. And it's very forgiving for if you're doing a trick and then you come
Yeah.
down soon. It doesn't You don't
Yeah.
fall or anything like that.
Yeah, you don't fall, you don't reset it. Just like it orients your character basically to always land on her feet. She's a cat, you know. She
Mm-hmm.
just always lands sort of on her
Exactly.
feet. You like
Exactly.
you'll lose your combo and stuff, but like of course
Yeah.
that's which is fine. But like otherwise, it doesn't disrupt you at all, and it doesn't punish you in any way for like messing up a trick or something like that. Now,
Exactly.
if you fall off like the course or something, then you come back with like less health and stuff. But like if you're just gonna
Exactly.
fall on the ground because you didn't land a trick right, then you just lose your
Yeah.
combo, which is nice. So like again, it doesn't punish you too much, and like it. I think it's very forgiving for a lot of aspects for it too. Like it gives you enough time. At least I felt like as someone who
Mm-hmm.
doesn't enjoy like having to time things perfectly out, like
Yeah.
which is why I don't like Elden Ring and stuff like that. It's very forgiving, like with allowing you plenty of time to like, oh, I have to dodge here to get out of way of something. Like its dodge mechanics are really forgiving. Um,
Yeah.
the 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 tricks are very forgiving and everything, and like you always have to do tricks too, because one of the cool things I think with the gameplay is like as you use your gun, you run out of bullets, right? And then to
Yeah.
regain bullets for your guns for using your weapons and stuff, you have to do tricks. And that replenishes
Yeah.
your bullets and stuff. So you're constantly shooting, 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 and then doing like some wild ass trick and then shooting again. And like,
Yeah.
so, and if you get really good, you can combine the shooting and doing tricks all at the same time. So it feels like you're
Exactly.
always and never running out of ammo and stuff like that. So I think it's a really cool like gameplay loop. Like I never got to that level where I was really good, but I was still having fun
Yeah.
with it, and like there was a rhythm to it that I really appreciated and was able to get into and identify and go, oh yeah, if I do this, I can get a couple shots off here. Then I can do a trick
Hmm.
here to regain that, and then I can kill this thing. This guy is a little bit heavier; he's going to take too much damage, so I'm going to have to do shoot, 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 do a trick, then come back around, shoot, shoot, shoot him again, and then he's dead. And it's like there was like a rhythm to it that I was able to get into it, a flow of just trick, shoot, like all of that. So it was nice. It was again a pleasant experience for me going through all of it. I know I'm diving a little bit beyond just top level thoughts here.
Oh,
So,
you're
but
good. Yeah.
like I can't say enough like just how fun the gameplay is, because again it
Oh
is
yeah.
like a Tony Hawk situation where Tony Hawk for me growing up was always just like, oh yeah, I just want to get that high score. I just want to get that
Yeah.
objective. Um I just want to just keep getting a high score and higher score if I can. Like I know, like when I was a kid playing Tony Hawk, I had like a group of friends, and I would always like try to one up each other and be like, "Well, my score was this on this course,"
Yeah.
and so it was like, and so it's just nice, like seeing that now. I'm just competing against myself, going, "Oh yeah, I know I can get higher. I know if I
Hmm.
do this a little bit faster, I can probably get a higher score if I maintain this trick and stuff, and like get these little power ups and stuff that are scattered throughout the levels and all that." And yeah,
Exactly. No,
so
definitely.
it's just cool.
Going. Yeah, it's a very fun and cool game. Going into, I guess we can go into the deeper thoughts of it because you just said like, what I enjoyed a lot about this game is like you said the gameplay loop is very easy to get into, and it's very simple. It doesn't require too much thinking. Overall, even though like as you stated before with the story, there is somewhat of a story going on in the background, but it's not all that important.
Mhm.
Um, it is cool because you do have these moments where you're in this whole Rollerdrome experience. You play as Kara Hassan, and you're basically, if for all the people who are not familiar with the Running Man, it's a dystopian future where basically people get put into this contest to eventually win,
They fight
basically
each
be the
other.
top. Yeah, they fight each other and all these crazy ways, and you playing as Kara, um, you're kind of like people can cheer you on and stuff like that. There are other people that you never meet who are also in the competition. You kind of just read about them in like these small little like pieces of paper and stuff of like how they're doing and like
Mhm.
previous winners and stuff like that. And it is very interesting. I think what it balances well, depending on how big you are on the story. But this isn't a game that's like too big on the story where it's like, oh, these previous winners. Like there's a guy in the background as well. Like he's like the champion for 2-3 years in a row,
Mhm.
and but like you can kind of smell like you can kind of tell that, oh, there's kind of like some cheating going on or something like that, favoring. And
Yeah,
it's
sketchy
pretty cool. It
stuff.
gives you,
Yeah.
yeah, and it gives you a cool like mysterious like, wow, like this world is pretty insane. It's very dystopian and very cool, which I liked. And
Mhm.
but I'll say that as well, the gameplay is super fun. Doing the tricks is always, it feels gratifying to be able to do these cool sick tricks with very little effort.
Mhm.
And it's like you said, once you get into the rhythm of it, of like, oh, let me do a trick, it refills my ammo, and let me go into I forgot what the slow mode is called, but it's like focus or something like that. But that's like super fun, killing the robots. Even one of the initial, I guess you could say, big boss fights where you fight, if you got to that point of fighting the big
Mhm.
robot in the
Yeah.
ice area,
Mhm.
that's like even fun, climbing on this big robot. It looks like kind of like a spider or something, and
Yeah.
you're trying to shoot it with like a grenade
Okay.
launcher or just whatever in these little spots to decrease its health.
Mhm.
It's like
Mhm.
really fun overall. I'll say, before I say mine, because did you have anything else of like as far as just the overall gameplay or anything else that you enjoyed about Rollerdrome?
I really enjoyed the art style. I thought the art style was really
Yeah,
striking. Um, and that's the best word I can use for it. It's very striking. I don't really know what you would
yeah,
call this kind of animated style. Um,
yeah,
like when before we started, when I started making the connection that, oh, these guys developed Ollie Ollie World, and I said, oh, they looks very similar. They don't really look all that similar. I think Ollie Ollie World's
yeah,
far more cartoony in its
yeah,
presentation,
yeah,
whereas Rollerdrome, in a lot of ways, kind of looks like Ollie Ollie World, but it has a more grittiness to it than Ollie Ollie World,
yeah.
where Ollie World is very cartoony. This one feels more, I guess just the best way I can say is gritty. I feel like this is a, if this was an animated show like on Adult Swim, I think this would
Hmm.
fit. Does that make sense? Like I could
Definitely.
see
No,
this
that makes
like on a
perfect
late,
sense.
like 10 o'clock at night. You had Family Guy play, and then you get something serious with Rollerdrome,
Yeah,
where they would probably crack jokes every now and then, but it'd be a little
yeah,
bit more serious than like a Family Guy or something. But it would be the way to end the Adult Swim hour or whatever. So like I feel like that, like the animated style would fit well it in that regard. Of like, do you remember
oh
like
yeah,
Venture Bros or whatever? Do you remember?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I feel like
No,
this would pair
definitely,
well with that, like if this was a late night cartoon type thing. But yeah, like
exactly.
the art style is just beautiful though. I love it. Like it's really cool.
Yeah,
I think that's my two big compliments. The music was good too, for the most
yeah.
part.
Music was good.
Um, sound wise, like there were times where the weapons just sounded like they were just pew pews, you know?
Oh
I was
yeah,
just like,
exactly. Yeah,
almost like caricatures of sound, like of what weapons would sound like. But for the most part, though, like again, the art style was great, the music was solid. So I think like the overall packaging of just Rollerdrome, from in that regard, from the gameplay to the visuals, like it's a really well crafted game in my opinion, with the
no,
gameplay
definitely.
and the visuals of it. I will say like I don't know if it was my computer, and maybe you had this issue too, where it felt like the frames were dropping every now and then. Where I was like, "Oof, this
Mm.
something's dropping here." I don't know if it was my computer, but it doesn't make sense because my computer, it's a forty
Yeah.
seventy, so whatever.
I don't think. Yeah, I think for me, I don't know if I ran into any issues. I'm trying to think because everything seemed to run smooth on my end.
Yeah,
But yeah,
maybe
I
it's
don't
just
think I ran
yeah,
into any of that.
might just be me,
But
like my computer. But yeah, at times I thought the frames were dropping it, and it was just
uh
it wasn't like anything that bugged me. It was just like, oof, frame drop
Yeah.
here. I don't know why. So
Yeah, I'll say this, that I think the music was great. There were times where I'd forget the music, but then in certain intense moments, it'd kick in, and I'd be
yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, this is like really cool," and it definitely fits the environment and the
Mm-hmm.
overall just feeling of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Everything felt smooth. Nothing. I'll say that I think that Roll 7 did a great job with just making the gameplay smooth as possible. Like nothing felt like, it didn't feel like there were any hiccups or anything was rough for me, because like doing a trick, going into bullet time, shooting and going back, everything was so smooth. They
Yeah.
did a great job.
Yeah.
Now, I'll say I'll say this, going into, was there anything about this game overall that you didn't enjoy as much or felt like was lacking?
Um, that's a good question. Nothing that comes to mind off the top of my head, like, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I just kind of turned my brain off and I wasn't looking at it.
Yeah.
It's gonna sound horrible. I wasn't really looking at it with a critical eye, even though we're reviewing
Yeah.
it now. Like, I don't know. I just went into it like wanting to turn my like just wanting to have a good time, like not wanting to
Yeah.
overthink this because it. If I had to pick anything, it is the lack of like a meaningful story to it. But like
Yeah.
that's just because I'm a narrative person and I always want a story to
Yeah.
bind things together and make me care. And I don't think the
Hmm.
game does a really good job of making you really care about who Kara is. And the game doesn't really mention her name too many times. Like you see it if
Yeah.
you're paying attention and stuff, her name is mentioned, and like if you're going
Yeah.
and finding these notes and stuff, but otherwise, like it's so not important that.
Exactly.
But that would be my biggest complaint is just like making the story a little bit more forefront and
Yeah.
not kind of just pushing it off to the side. But I also don't think the game necessarily needs that for what it's doing. So because this is about
No,
just getting the high
definitely.
school high school. This is about just getting the high score and completing
Yeah,
objectives more than anything. And so I think
definitely.
yeah. So it's a
Yeah.
it's a weird thing for me in that regard where I would prefer a more front facing story, but I'm also not mad at it for not having it. So
Yeah. I would, when I think of this game, like it's very little that I have like in excuse me, it's very little that I think is lacking. I think it's great for what it's meant to do, which is like you said, just turn your brain off, just like have a good time performing all these cool tricks, shooting in bullet time,
mhm.
and like knocking all these enemies out. It's really good to like just get into and get out. It's a very simple gameplay loop. Very fun. I will say that for me, but this is just a me thing. I don't know if you've ever experienced this or anybody else who ever did. There was a little bit where, like you said, I think besides not really being a story, there was times where like I would be completing and progressing all the missions and stuff, and I'd get to a certain point, but then I kind of lost the motivation to continue at certain points. Like I would be like, oh, I think I'm done playing for right now, you know,
Yeah.
which, yeah. And that probably has to do with story and stuff like that. But I'm also, as I say this, I'm also saying that like, I'm not upset that there was no like prevalent story, you know,
Yeah.
but it's just kind of like, there are certain games maybe that people have on their phones that you play for a little bit, and then there's
Yeah.
something in you that just goes, oh, I'm done for right now,
Yeah.
you know.
And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, right? Like
No, true,
it's
true.
like I because I felt that too, where I was like, oh, I'm gonna hop in, do a course or two, see if I can get a high score, see what objectives I can complete, see if I can unlock the
Yeah,
next mission or something.
yeah.
But like I never like was beating my head over it like the
No,
thing. And I
true.
guess I guess this would also be like another thing to comment. Like I never felt like I needed to keep playing.
Very true.
Um
Yeah.
and I never felt like but I also wasn't upset when I was playing, if that makes sense. Like I never had a like
Yeah.
after I initially started playing it, when I
Hmm.
stopped playing it, it was like, oh, okay, cool. And I never had that itch to keep playing. Like afterwards, like I didn't really
Yeah.
think about Rollerdrome. I would just see it on and be like, oh yeah, Rollerdrome. I have like 10, 15 minutes. I'll listen to a podcast real quick and play this
Yeah.
while I listen to the podcast. And then okay, 10, 15 minutes are up. I'll go do something else. And then a day or two later, I'll be like, oh, I'll listen to a podcast again and Rollerdrome. So like
Yeah.
that's really how
Exactly.
that like relationship went with Rollerdrome, where it's and I think again it comes to the fact that it's so low stakes that it doesn't really matter too much. So I don't
Yeah,
necessarily think it's a bad thing, but I also think it also highlights just how unserious it is, I guess is the best word.
definitely. Yeah,
You're
I
not
I could see
serious
that.
people.
I could see that. What's funny is, as I was playing it the whole time, I was thinking that it'd be cool. I mean, they probably don't have to do this, but I could definitely see like the game being, it's simple as it is. Um, they could do something to the effect of like, I could see this game as like an somewhat of an anime or an animated cartoon
Yeah.
of like, like you were saying, and it'd be cool to like develop story there. But like overall, like you said, I think it's great for what it does. It's not serious at all. It's very much just like just shoot and kill, very simple. Do a
Yeah.
cool 1500 or something like that. Grind, do all these things, and just complete the objectives to eventually beat the game. Because the
Yeah.
game is only what the main story is only 4 hours. It's not even a
Yeah.
long game.
Yeah,
It's a very
you can
short
get
game.
you can pretty much unlock all the main courses and stuff within
Yeah,
within a couple hours and stuff. Now, completing all the objectives might be
that's
will
a whole
extend
different thing.
that'll extend it out a lot more. Like I still don't have all the objectives completed in most of the missions and stuff. Like, and I have no plans of ever trying to get them either.
Yeah,
Like, I feel like I've played this game for maybe like about 10 hours total, and I think that's
yeah,
enough. Like, I don't need to play
exactly.
more than
Yeah,
that. I have no desire to keep playing it. This isn't a game that I'm going to come back to a year from now or anything. Like, I enjoyed those 10 hours. I got my fill of it. I'll
yeah,
play a sequel if there's ever a sequel type thing, but like, yeah, I'm not. I think again that goes back to just like I'm not thinking about this game anymore. Like I even mentioned before we started streaming, I was like, man, I haven't touched this game in like a week. Uh, I'm gonna touch it again because I'm gonna record some gameplay
oh yeah,
footage. But like, yeah, I'm
yeah,
this once I got my fill of Rollerdrome, I just kind of stopped thinking about it
yeah,
until
exactly. No,
we started
definitely.
talking about recording it and stuff. So
Exactly. But yeah, I think overall this is a really good game. To
mhm,
kind of move into our final thoughts of it, I think this is a really well done game.
mhm,
I think that the gameplay is smooth, the music is good. Um, it feels like it's a very forgiving game, but even though it's very forgiving, I think that it feels really good when you're doing all these cool tricks and you're in the air, and it's so cool when you're upside down doing like shooting,
shooting and you
big
have your
robot or
pistols, yeah. You're
yeah,
trying
doing
to
the
take
shooting.
down taking down the bosses and stuff. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's really
It's
cool.
really fun. Yeah, it's really cool and it's really fun. And I think for the type of game that it is, I think Roll Seven did a great job. They did an amazing job,
Yeah,
which makes me I'm like, oh, I need to go play Ollie Ollie World, and
yeah,
get into that, which is a different feeling. But I think that they did a great job with this and great game. And it's if you're looking for a game that's not serious and you don't have to sit there and think, and like you said, you just turn on a podcast, turn on a show in the background or something like that, and you're playing this, I think this is perfect for that.
yeah. It's a good distraction for
Oh yeah.
anything. And again, it's a pick up and play game too. You can pick it up and then put it
Hmm.
down after you do a course and just be like, okay, I played for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm gonna go do something else. Maybe I'll come back to
Yeah.
it later. But it gives you that quick like dopamine hit of a video game, just like, oh, it feels great to play.
Exactly.
I did this really cool trick. I did this really cool thing. I fought this cool boss. Okay, I'm done.
Yep.
Like, which is nice.
Exactly.
And yeah, that's my thought. Those are my final thoughts. So it's fun. It's a well
All
crafted
right.
game. It's a well crafted game. It's just fun. Like, I think
Yeah.
this is probably the most video game that we played so far. Maybe
Yes.
besides Arcade
Very.
Paradise, where Arcade
Yeah.
Paradise is
Exactly.
very much like this is a video game. But like,
Exactly.
yeah.
No, definitely. Okay. Well, with that being said, if you want to bring up the list here that we got.
Alrighty then. So our list, as everyone may know by now, if you're just now tuning in, this is our first episode, we rank these games that we play against each other.
Mhm.
And so my current list of games, my number one game right now is Starfield. My number two, Sea of Stars. Number three, Cocoon. Number four, Lies of P. I don't know why. I don't know why I say it like that. Number five, Arcade Paradise, and number six, Amnesia: The Bunker. L's list is Starfield as number 1, Lies of P number 2, Sea of Stars number 3, Cocoon number 4, Arcade Paradise at number 5, and Amnesia the Bunker at number 6. L, where are you gonna put yours? Where are you gonna put yours? Where are you gonna put Rollerdrome?
So for me, Rollerdrome was a blast. It's definitely better than Amnesia the Bunker. Sorry, people who love Amnesia the Bunker, but it's way better than that. I enjoyed this a whole lot better than Arcade Paradise, even though Arcade Paradise, when you're in it, man, you are in it.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, when
I mean, you're gonna be in it. Yeah, it's gonna hook
you're
your
in a
claws. Yep.
Exactly. And so then I know what's above Arcade Paradise.
Arcade Paradise for you is Cocoon.
Cocoon. Oh man, Cocoon is so beautiful to look at. It's a really simple game, and like all the aliens, I guess, or whatever the angels or whatever they're called, they look so beautiful. I think that Rollerdrome is a great game, but I don't think it gets into top 3 because I think Sea of Stars is a lot more enjoyable for me, also as Lies of P as well as Starfield. So for this, I think it's to be honest, I think I put it just above Cocoon because the reason why I say that is because it has a very easy get in, get out type of gameplay that you can just play it a little bit, do a couple tricks, shoot, advance a couple things, and once you're done with it, you're done with it, and then you just hop in and out, which I love because sometimes when you don't have time to sit there and just focus on a narrative or focus on like a certain type of gameplay that requires you to be in it, Rollerdrome is great for that.
Yep, I agree. So for me, on my list, I look at my list and I go, fuck Amnesia the Bunker, hate that game. Arcade Paradise, it's Arcade Paradise is Arcade Paradise. I look at Lies of P. Sorry, L. Sorry.
Ooh.
I do enjoy it. I do Rollerdrome more than Lies of P, just because like Lies of P just didn't resonate with me. It doesn't work for me.
I get it.
I don't think, aside from like the God of Wars and the Jedi Survivor stuff, like that's the closest I'll ever get to a Souls-like, and Lies of P is very much a Souls-like. So it's like
yeah, I get it.
Now it's an interesting thing with Cocoon because like I don't know. I look at my top 3 and 2 of those games I actually like. One of them I'm just like I'm so indifferent, but it's so well crafted that I put it at number 2, which was Sea of Stars. Like I just I don't care for Sea of Stars at all, but I really enjoy Cocoon.
Yeah.
Tough decision. Do I want to put because if I put it above Cocoon, then I have to put it above Sea of Stars.
Oof. What Jesus. Rollerdrome going up to number 2.
Yeah. Rollerdrome's going up to number 2 for me. So
really? Yeah. Wow.
I just like I put Sea of Stars at number 2 for me, or above Cocoon for me at the time, just because like Sea of Stars is a well-crafted game. Like I do like it a lot. But I think Rollerdrome is also a well-crafted game minus a story. But I think the gameplay of Rollerdrome outshines Sea of Stars in so many ways.
I could see that.
And
I could see that.
As beautiful as Cocoon is, again, gameplay-wise, beat for beat, like Rollerdrome just outshines Cocoon gameplay-wise.
Yeah, so, I could see that.
In my opinion, of course. It's all my opinion. So, so my list now stands as number 1, Starfield. Number 2, Rollerdrome. Number 3, Sea of Stars. Number 4, Cocoon. Number 5, Lies of P. Number 6, Arcade Paradise. And number 7, Amnesia the Bunker. L's list now stands at number 1, Starfield. Number 2, Lies of P. Number 3, Sea of Stars. Number 4, Rollerdrome. Number 5, Cocoon. Number 6, Arcade Paradise. And number 7, Amnesia the Bunker. All right.
Slowly but surely, Amnesia is leaving the list.
God, I can't wait for the day that I don't have to look at that stupid fucking name. Oh my God, I hate that game so much. All right.
Hilarious.
So I'll talk while I calculate the overall games.
Well, very like we always say in each of these episodes, all the games we play are available on Xbox GamePass. For the next episode, I'll give this while you're doing that. We're going to be playing RoboQuest, which we have been playing. which is another game available on Xbox Game Pass. Very simple game, very quick to get into. I think the beginning is like maybe just a little bit long, not super long, but like 5 minutes, something like that, where they just break it down. But once you get into it, it's very quick. You just go right in. And so that'll be the next game that we review, RoboQuest. So be on the lookout for that on the next episode.
And I think we're gonna have to redo our Game of the Year list because I think RoboQuest creeping up on my Game of the Year for 2023.
Whoa,
RoboQuest is really fucking good. RoboQuest is really fucking good, man. I think it's really good. I fucking love it. So our overall list as it stands right now for review, please, video game edition. Number 1, Starfield, and then we have a tie for number 2.
Whoa,
Sea of Stars and Rollerdrome. 3, Lies of P. Number 4, Cocoon. Number 5, Arcade Paradise. And number 6, Amnesia: The Bunker. So yeah, Sea of Stars and Rollerdrome right now are tied with 10 points each.
Nice.
And then Starfield is leading the pack with 14 points total. So that's because it's our number 1 game on both of our list. Who knows if that'll change anytime soon. But we have RoboQuest coming up. After that, I'm telling you, Al, our game after RoboQuest. Strap in, bitch. Strap in because you're playing Persona.
Oh.
You're playing Persona.
Oh my god.
You're playing Persona 3 Reloaded, baby. You're going through the Persona and you're going to get that bug and you're going to just all of a sudden be playing all of the freaking Persona games.
Oh my god.
However, Persona is a very long game. It's about 100 hours, long game.
So you're saying get started now?
I mean, it's not out yet. So it's not out until February 4th, I want to say. February 2nd, something like that.
So we still have time.
Yeah, I want to say it's the 2nd or maybe it's the 6th. It's one of those. So we have a month away, but you're going to be in the midst of moving. So most likely that will come much, much later than RoboQuest. We'll probably have games in between that too, but eventually we will get to Persona 3 Reloaded. So, I mean, we could also do Persona 4. Well, actually, no, Persona 4 is being taken off Game Pass, actually. So, anyways, but yeah, but RoboQuest is next, and then we'll be on an extended break after that until about probably April for this particular podcast, because I'm moving, Elle's moving. I just wanted to make sure everybody knows that we're moving, and because we're moving, we won't be able to record things or play video games. Elle, it's all Elle's fault.
Not my fault.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you all so much for joining us for this episode of Review Please Video Game Edition. Hopefully you liked it. Elle, wind us down.
Everybody, like Jesus said, thanks for tuning in. You can catch us here on the YouTube. Just type in Respawn Please Podcast. Our channel will come up. This is where we have Review Please Video Game Edition. As a reminder, one more time, all the games we play are available on Xbox Game Pass. So if you want to play along with us, that's how you play along with us on Xbox Game Pass. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified of future videos, as well as follow us on social media on TikTok and Instagram at Respawn Please Podcast. And also, if you want to listen to a video game podcast, check out Respawn Please. That's our video and audio podcast where we talk all things video game, what's going on in the video game world. Check us out, subscribe, follow us, and we will see you on the next episode with RoboQuest.
RoboQuest. I don't know why I did that way. This is not like a theme song that says that. That would be awesome. They should hire me to do the vocals for a theme song. I'll be like RoboQuest. Anyways, this is about Rollerdrome. The hell are we doing here? Bye.
All right, bye.